Hello everyone, I'm Carthu, and today is the finale. The finale of What If Broly Was Sent to Earth. This series has spanned 5 parts and covered the entirety of Dragon Ball to Dragon Ball Super. Your support and love of this series has been greatly appreciated the whole way through, and unlike What If Goku Was Sent to Beerus' planet, this is going to be the true finale. No other parts will ever be made, and you will know why by the end of it. Thank you, and video intro. So, Battle of Gods has just happened. Vegeta was Super Saiyan God for a brief moment and has absorbed that power into his base form. They now all know the exciting limits that they can soon reach in their own power, and so they look for new ways to achieve it. Whis eventually becomes friends with Bulma on Earth, using her as access to Earth cuisine. And one day he is met by Vegeta, who offers him ramen, instant ramen, to get trained by him. Whis accepts the offer after tasting the delicious food, and he's ready to set off with Vegeta. But Vegeta tells him to wait a minute, and he gets Broly, Chi-Chi, and Trunks as well. Together, they all go to Whis' planet to train. This Vegeta is a bit different than the one that we have in the main timeline. A little bit less agitated, a little bit more friendly, a little bit more caring, and again, it's due to those few extra years on Earth. His development had a speed up because of them. During their time training, Chi-Chi was the first to gain access to God Ki consistently due to her exceptional ki control from mastering the Kaioken. Vegeta and Trunks gained access to Super Saiyan God and Super Saiyan Blue, and Broly was a bit different. While he was able to transform into Super Saiyan God, he couldn't maintain the form for long, and Super Saiyan Blue was just something he'd never even gotten close to. It appears that pulling your ki into your body isn't possible. It just flows right back out afterwards. I believe you should gain strength in a more traditional manner. I hear a mortal from another universe has surpassed his god of destruction by doing so as well. And so, Whis gave God training to the other 3, and more personal growth training to Broly, but also had him try to use Super Saiyan God daily to work on his ki control in general. With no Dragon Balls on Earth, Frieza isn't and won't be revived, so there's no resurrection of F. However, Champa is still collecting the Super Dragon Balls, and after arriving on Beerus' planet and having the food competition, the Universe 6 tournament is arranged just like it was in canon. Obviously, we have 4 people to fill those 5 slots for Universe 7's side, and Monaka will take that 5th slot. When it comes to Universe 6's team, it remains exactly the same. And so, a little while passes and the tournament begins. Chi-Chi goes first and faces Botama. His unique ability to avoid all physical attacks is interesting, but once she figures out what it is, she's able to just throw him out of the arena with little difficulty. Next up is Frost. Chi-Chi versus Frost is an interesting one because Chi-Chi sees nothing but Frieza before her, and she remembers what Frieza did to her. And so, seeking revenge, she doesn't go for the quick elimination. Instead, she enjoys the pummeling that she's giving him, and really likes this fight, lets it drag out. But that was her biggest mistake, because all it took was one punch from Frost to knock her out cold. He's still cheating, and he's still evil. The score is now tied 1-1, and Trunks is up next. I saw what you did to her, and I won't let you do the same to me. And with that, Trunks blasts Frost out of the arena. The minute the match starts, it's over. Next up to fight Trunks is Vegeta, and this is an interesting one because just like in canon, Champa actually has them create a barrier over the sky since Vegeta can't fly, and that's not quite fair. So, the barrier happens, but it was obviously a trick, contain the heat and the smoke from Vegeta to weaken his opponent. And it works. Trunks is quickly phased out of his forms and cannot keep up with the fight. He can barely breathe by the end of it, and is just kicked out of the arena. And so, for revenge for his son, Vegeta is up next. He quickly turns into Super Saiyan Blue to start the match because he doesn't want to waste time. He feels like this will be a big deal if he does not finish it quick enough, because he will also suffer the same internal issues. And so, he does finish it quickly, just as you'd expect from these fighters. They're learning from each other's matches, seeing where the person before them went wrong, and using that information to make smarter decisions. These are the way the characters seem to work in my stories, at least. And next up is Cabba. Cabba's a bit of an interesting case here, because Vegeta still treats him the same way that he does in canon. This mentor relationship, it comes right out of this Vegeta especially, because he is a mentor-type father. He knows what it's like to teach his children, so he's ready to teach Cabba. He goes through the motions. It's the exact same fight, almost frame for frame. The only difference is maybe Vegeta's a bit more sincere about what he's doing. To try not to over-explain something that you've all seen on screen, we'll just end it at the fact that it ends the same way. Vegeta turns into Super Saiyan Blue one more time and tells him, you should try to achieve this form. And that's what Cabba goes on to try. He leaves the arena with newfound inspiration to his training and to get stronger for the next time he sees his master. Hit is up next, and Vegeta knows that he might not be able to win this fight. The issue is he's used Super Saiyan Blue 2 too many times, and now he's running a bit low on stamina. He also still managed to inhale some of that smoke and heat from before, so now he's starting to wear down. He's gonna try his best anyway, maybe give BROLY the advantage here. And so, they fight. And Hit's time skip just utterly obliterates him. Whis mentions how it's interesting that he's just appearing from point A to point B, almost like teleportation, but not quite the same thing. That's enough information for BROLY to go into it with to understand kind of what's going on. He just knows he's moving from point A to point B without middle movement. He doesn't need to know the rest, that's enough for him for now. So BROLY turns into his Super Saiyan form, and is very powerful in his own right, perhaps getting close to the Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta level, at the very least. And so the fight with Hit begins, and BROLY is actually outpacing him. He has a lot more raw speed and power than Hit, but Hit's technique is starting to wear off on him. He's starting to get hit by things that he can't see coming, things that he can't predict. And all of a sudden, it's starting to make sense to him. He must be skipping through time. Whis and Trunks come to the same realization as well. Trunks even shouts the information down to BROLY, who just gives back a thumbs up. And so their fight continues. Hit continues to improve, get stronger quickly as he goes along. He's getting stronger because of BROLY, and he appreciates it. He's starting to enjoy fighting. He's usually an assassin, not a fighter, but this is something he can get behind. And so the fight rages on. It continues, full flurry. But even with the information of what the time skip is, BROLY cannot win this fight. And so, things start to go downhill for him. He starts getting pummeled, one-sidedly, not landing hits anymore. Everything is hurting, every part of his body, until eventually he grows too. A power that could one day surpass the God of Destruction awakens in him. His full-powered Super Saiyan form. And BROLY utterly demolishes Hit at this point. It becomes extremely one-sided. The time skip is irrelevant because he's overcome it by such a huge margin. And he's taking advantage of every little opening that Hit has on him. BROLY is freaking out. The power is just pouring out of his body. The reason he could not sustain God Ki is showing itself right now in this form. Its power exploding everywhere. And he wins. And Universe 7 wins the Super Dragon Balls. Just like in the main continuity, Beerus is kind enough to wish back Universe 6's Earth for Champa, and they all set on their way home. Goku Black doesn't happen here, obviously. There's no Goku to incentivize it, and a potential BROLY Black wouldn't really affect anything anyway, since if there's a BROLY Black, there are still characters like Vegeta and Chi-Chi and Trunks around to take care of that threat. And since they're constantly around each other, that person would never come back in time to this timeline and affect anything in this way. And even still, there's no future Trunks to have warned them of that timeline being attacked either way. And this is how it all goes. This is just how the events seem to unfold. Until we eventually get to, of course, the Tournament of Power. But there isn't a Tournament of Power. I didn't mention it before because it's kind of irrelevant, but Zeno still shows up at the tournament of Universe 6 and says that he had a good time watching it, so he won't punish anybody, but don't do it again without permission. And that's it. He flies off. Because there's no Goku to interact with him in a way that is disrespectful. Broly's not disrespectful like that. And so there's no one to treat Zeno in the way that Zeno appreciates, the different way, the way that makes him feel like he has a friend. There's no Zeno 2 that Goku brings him, which solidifies their friendship even more. There's no Zeno 2 to show this tournament to explain what fighting is all about and why it's interesting to watch. And so, what I'm getting at is, the reason this is the last episode of this series permanently, no more Ro, no anything else, is because the universe gets destroyed. Zeno destroys the universe because there's no tournament of power to save it. The low mortal level stays. Its civilizations, its humanity is not great. So, Universe 7 is erased. And that's how this series ends. I want to say, if you guys are disappointed by this ending, then I'm sorry. I wanted to stick to my guns, though, that I don't fundamentally change things. And if I don't fundamentally change things so far that they're completely unbelievable, or destroy my characters for the sake of story, then I have to do that here, too. I did it with the Buu Saga, where the Buu Saga was like 5 minutes. And so I hope you really did enjoy this series. I really do think parts 2 and 3 are my best what-ifs ever. And I really do appreciate all the support you guys have given me. Thank you so very much. And no video outro this time. Just probably the cards are laid over my face right now. So, until next time, guys. See ya.